It was an exciting day yesterday as Ethereum managed to hit all-time highs by about $20, and since we have retraced back into the range and we're still waiting for the move up to continue if it is going to do so, we can take a look at the liquidations and see that majority of people are short in the past 24 hours. So we'll see if this changes and if this short squeeze will help us push higher. I have my doubts because going into September, we typically get bearish based off of historical seasonality. If we just take a look at this list right here, we can see that September out of all of the year tends to be more bearish than others. So a bearish September is just to shake people out before the bullish end of the year. Wouldn't be surprised to see that happen and actually leaning towards it. We do have some good news though. If we go over to Bitcoin dominance, we can see we finally decisively broke out of this trend. We've been holding it for the past 3 years and finally got a breakdown. So this is a good start to alt season, as we've talked about on this channel for many weeks. The only thing that I don't like to see is the fact that we have a huge following on Twitter, Coin Bureau, with 1 million followers saying that alt season to start next month. This is bearish for me because usually when big accounts start talking about alt season like this, it typically lines up with the fact that we're possibly not going to see it. So I'm not writing it off completely because things do change, but based off of what I've seen in the past and the historical bearishness of September, I wouldn't be surprised to give a little bit of a retrace. We've had a massive drop, about a 10 to 11% drop on Bitcoin dominance. So a little bit of a retrace during September before continuation to the end of the year wouldn't surprise me. So a little bit higher like that, and then a plummet down to the 50% ranges. Wouldn't be surprised to see that. So again, this is all to say that I am bullish on alts. It's just that we might get a retrace for the first half of September and then maybe continue during the late stages of September. If you've been watching my channel, I've been saying continuously that we're going to run into alt season in the next 3 to 5 months. So that is what I'm running with. Just because we have a little bit of a shakeout doesn't mean I'm going to be selling my alts. I'm simply holding and waiting for the trend to continue back in my direction. I'm just pointing out multiple scenarios that could happen and what I'm anticipating so I don't get blindsided. So overall, I do like the structure of what's happening with the alts here. Ethereum did cause this collapse. The only thing we want to see out of alts is strength in others. And others is everything excluding the top 10. So we want to see this pump up. And you guys can see my blue lines. The blue lines represent tops and bottoms on the chart. And as you can see, we have about 161 days left till we get to that next blue marker there. And we can see volume increasing on the bottom here, which is a really good sign, something we want to see because volume precedes price. And if this continues, if this trend continues to the upside, then I can see us tagging 450 billion in the next 1 to 2 months, and then possibly even breaking to all-time highs to head to about 1 trillion for psychological resistance on others. That means that all the low caps and coins that I've been mentioning on this channel will most likely pump in a tremendous way as we reach that final leg of the cycle. So that's a 232% move. That's going to be an absolute massive move. Back in 2021, we saw a huge move of 1,000%. I don't think this cycle is going to be as big as 2021. So my expectations of what to aim for in targets for alts is a lot lower than what they would be in 2021. Reason being is this is mainly an institutional run cycle. We also have way too many coins this cycle compared to the last one, especially with the additions of Pump Fund and launch platforms on Ethereum, such as Base. There's just a lot of fragmentation and liquidity spread everywhere, which makes it hard for everything to pump as drastically as it did in 2021. Now, the ETH and Bitcoin pair is looking really good here. This is the kind of move you want to see, akin to what we're seeing right over here. Okay, this is what we want to see. We want to see straight up moves. The only thing is, as we saw in August, we had a drawdown. You can see the peak happened on August 31st, and then we got that September bearishness all the way into December, actually. But because where we are in the cycle, I don't think we have time for as long as a drawdown, which is why I think we're going to have a shorter month of just a quick flush to the downside and then a continuation back up to about this region right here before we come into resistance. So as you can see, there is a bit of hints on the chart as to what to expect for the month of September. Right now, we have pushed up continuously. We broke out of this downtrend, which is extremely bullish for Ethereum. I've been waiting for this break on this channel for weeks. We finally got it. So a retrace again would not be the worst thing. If we go on to memes, we can see we've been consolidating on memes. Memes look like they need to consolidate for a little bit longer because it's putting in that triangle pattern that you guys can see. And it finally completes about 13th of December. Once we come down to this area, you guys can see the pattern completes. And then we have to make a decision. Do we go down or do we go up? And as you guys know, I think we go up. Most likelihood is we go up. AI market share is looking really good. It's actually looking the best out of all the charts that I've showed you in terms of DeFi, memes, and AI. AI is looking good simply because it's been lagging compared to the rest. You can see volume is reaching all-time highs here. We've got sell volume reaching its peak as we did over here, which is not a great sign. We really want to see us break out of this $50 billion range. Otherwise, we risk coming down to about 46 billion, complete that pattern in September, and then move towards the upside. Now, for AI, I'm targeting about 180 to 240 billion in terms of a top. So we have a lot of room to run for the AI sector right there. If we get extremely bullish, it's going to be about $300 billion for the market cap. But as of right now, I'm simply being conservative and targeting 190, 236, and 300. Now, these are going to be my profit targets right there. I'm going to take off a chunk at 190. I'm going to take off a chunk at 230. And finally, I'm going to leave a moon back to 300. Not too much, just enough to make some additional gains. The reason being, I don't want to be greedy, because if we go into a bear market next year, I want to be able to buy back at $50 billion and trade up to 300 to possibly $400 billion. So there's no point in being greedy. You will get a second chance at another cycle. And I've already been through 3. So I've learned to be patient and take the money when it comes. Overall, looking very bullish on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the alts. If we get a minor flush down on Bitcoin down to 108, 110, that would be fine even in September. Second half of September, we have possibility of rate cuts with a 75% chance showing that we are going to get those rate cuts. Yet to be seen. We'll have to wait and see. I do expect the market to rally if we do get a rate cut. That would line up with what I'm expecting to see at the end of the year, which is fireworks. So a little bit of a short video, not much to talk about, as not much has changed except for the all-time high break, but those are the chart updates for what I'm interested in right now. As you guys know, I'm heavily invested in AI, so that is my primary interest as of right now. DeFi is also extremely interesting, but I'm only exposed through 1 or 2 coins. And then memes are taking a backseat. While I do have some memes, I do think they will be the last ones to go, because memes tend to move at the end of the cycle. So with that said, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys again next time.